Well,
we are live, and welcome. Well, not live, but we're here.
Yeah.
You're watching us. Welcome to another episode. I guess this is episode 2 of Knife Nuts Extras.
we'll come up with a better name eventually.
Probably not. At least better titles, because the algorithm doesn't like Knife Nuts Extras.
Episode 1.
Episode 1.
Which
it doesn't like that.
Which is some sort of terrible clickbaity name. I have an idea for a segment eventually, or at least an episode where we just go through Artisan Cutlery's channel, or not channel, their catalog, and then the title of the video is Artisan Cutlery is the worst knife company of all time.
It's totally a shit tier brand.
So wait for...
It really is.
Look out for that eventually.
Yeah, I can't handle it. But yeah, welcome. For those of you who are new to our venture here, my name's Levon, and this is Dave right here.
Hello.
And we are one half of the Knife Nuts podcast. Please take a look at the links in the description. You will find links to all of our back catalog of episodes. Our co-hosts, Jake and Brian are normally with us, so you only get like a little piece of the Knife Nuts podcast.
Hopefully we'll get them on YouTube eventually.
Yeah, we're testing the waters here. We do have a co-host this time around. I would like everyone to say
making
hello
his video debut.
Say hello to Hector.
He literally does not look like he is paying attention to anything that's happening.
Well, no. I mean, come on, look at him. There's not much going on up here. He's
seems completely oblivious.
At least not right
to
now.
it.
He's content. He's just content. He's gonna hang out here. He may make appearances throughout the video, but
give his opinions.
We'll I figure he's better off up here on my lap than barking his fucking brains out at whatever is going on outside downstairs.
Good point.
Where are you going, man? what can I do for you? He's
very confused by the microphone.
Is this the new you? Do you hate Artisan Cutlery as well? He probably does. So what are we gonna do today, Dave?
Go through some new arrivals from GPKnives and DLT Trading. Let me bring that up.
Sounds good. I like that we're bouncing around a little. We don't have to zero in on one knife dealer.
Yeah.
But I did have a good time on the last episode.
That was fun.
Oh my god.
Well, it's always just fun to talk about how bad the Italian companies are.
God, some of that stuff was unbelievable, man.
I do like people seem to enjoy that. So I guess the feeling is shared about Fox knives.
I took another look at that horrible Elishewitz one.
Yeah.
I think that might be blue aluminum. It just looked like hell.
It is, yeah. No, if I remember correctly, that one was aluminum with G10, but like the aluminum looked like G10 somehow. They did some kind of magic.
That's right. But I do think it was in fact it was actually blue aluminum that was very similar in color to Hector's
It didn't
sweater.
make it any better though. Like honestly, if that was still G10, it was still a terrible knife.
Awful. One of the worst I've seen in quite some time. So good. Definitely, we'll put a link to the last episode somewhere. Not that you're going to have a hard time finding it.
It's
considering
episode number 1
of these at this point. Yes. But, maybe down, 2 years from now when we have 100 and we have 4 episodes.
Ambitious.
Ambitious, yeah. So, All right. So, let's get started here.
Immediately, Sabenza, got to talk about it. They changed to S45VN, which actually, honestly, we should talk about this when Jake is on, because this is much more up Jake's alley than anyone else's.
Because it's a new steel?
The only change is it's S45VN now. That's it.
I mean, I carry my large 31, like, all the time.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to notice the change to S45VN, but now I want one.
But you will when you look at the side of the blade that is emblazoned.
No.
With S30. It's not even, doesn't even
never
say
says
it,
anywhere on Sabenza's. There's no text.
It never says it anywhere. What am I talking about?
The birth card.
In that case, you're right. Yeah. When you look at the certificate, which you probably do every other day.
Yes, I keep all of those.
Yeah.
I have Google events and my calendar for each birth date for my Sabenzas.
Yes.
Celebrate them.
You're not even joking, are
I
you?
wish. I wish I was serious about that. Now I'm going to actually go and do that. One thing that is kind of interesting here, I don't know where GP Knives got this information from. Maybe it's accurate, maybe it's not, but it looks like they're bumping up the hardness. Now no one can complain at 61 to 62 because that's pretty optimal for S45VN, from my understanding. So
the only knife I have in S45VN is appropriately the Pochi.
I forgot that's S45VN.
Yes,
So my question is Crucible going to stop making S35VN, and is everyone just going to start using S45 once they run out of S35?
I think that's what's happening here is they're just moving through the stock of S35VN. If you look, like almost every like budget knife now has a S35VN counterpart. So I think that's probably the writing that's on the wall right now.
CRK themselves said we're working through our supply of S35VN, and once that runs out, we'll switch to S45. So, that's, I guess, something to look forward to. It's interesting is it just keeps going, or I guess, I don't know. They keep refining from S30V. At first, it was less edge retention, but more toughness. Now it is less toughness, but more edge retention than S35. So, like, how much thinner can you slice the bologna until you just go back to S30V? That's what's gonna happen.
I still think S30 is the superior steel.
It's a good steel. I mean, it has the highest edge retention of S30V, S35, and S45. So, in some sense, that's the most useful thing. I guess easier to sharpen is probably important to some people, but anyway, not a big deal. I just am a CRK fanboy and wanted to bring it up.
Well, that's interesting. So if you want a left-handed S45VN,
small 31.
small Sabenza.
So literally the least popular configuration possible.
I can't imagine a less interesting knife to me.
Speaking of interesting knives, though, I love these mini leather necks from Cold Steel. We
talked about it on the last episode, and I don't think I can ignore talking about them again. I'm going to buy them.
They're so adorable. I think I like this one, the Kyoto 2, which is like a traditional Tonto shape. It's 8CR, which could be worse.
No, I like that.
Yeah, it could be worse. I thought these would be like 3CR or...
And they're way bigger than I thought they were.
3.4 inch. Yeah, it's not like tiny.
That's a significant like knife.
Yeah. Oh, let me make sure there's no audio. Yeah, no. Wow, those grind lines actually look quite nice in this video.
All right. That's something we're buying. We'll definitely put a link to those in the description too.
These,
because
I can't imagine will be bad.
I can't think of any reason not to own these at $25.
And they have like 8 different blade shapes. That's the crazy part. Is
collect them all.
It is. I'm cool with it. I mean, Cold Steel's 2021 catalog is actually pretty good. So
I'm a Cold Steel fanboy. I am. Yeah. I think we all of us have become that over time. You know, just their. I mean, like I said before, I think the 2022 catalog is really going to be telling.
Yeah.
For what the company has in store after the acquisition.
But they haven't imploded so far.
No, so far so good. They seem to be keeping. They're posting a lot of meat chopping videos and things like that. All right, I got to put you down, dude. What are you trying to do?
Yeah, no, the social media has stayed exactly the same. They've got some high end stuff coming out. They have all of their fixed blades are coming out in 3V, which are going to be and made in Italy. They're going to be very expensive. But they also have some cheaper stuff.
I wonder if we will. Do you think we'll ever get through an episode of this without mentioning 3V in some capacity?
I mean, it's kind of this Warlock Tonto right here is 3V, so
I mean, that's
we've already failed. But the 8015 coming out, the cheaper version, I think this is it's Grivex and aluminum as opposed to titanium. And
smart. You know, something that not a lot of people know yet. Demko, Demko Knives. They're releasing the AD20 from their production line, you know, their higher end production line, with Grivery scales at $350.
Is that the one with the shark lock? Let me see if I can.
Hell yeah!
Let me see if I can look that up.
This is main podcast talk. here, but I wanted to put that out there. Like, if you guys didn't want a 80/20 enough, now you'll be able to get one at a ridiculous price.
This is going to be interesting. Grivery on a high-end production knife from a custom maker at that price. That might be the most expensive knife ever sold with Grivery. So this is going to be polarizing when it comes out.
I don't think so. I think it's great. I don't see a downside to it.
I guess there's not much on their store right now, so I'm guessing there's none available.
No, I mean they can't keep them in stock as it is at the higher end price points. But this just opens it up to more people. And remember we talked about USA made products.
Yeah.
You know, the lack of manufacturers. The Demkos are killing.
These are machine ground from what I remember, and then
there's they call it MG 80/20. It's the machine ground.
Yep. That's cool. That will be interesting.
So that was just a big side note to these cold steels, but I just wanted to mention that.
Do find it funny that GPKnives is apparently trying to avoid a geopolitical incident by putting Taiwan province of China instead of just Taiwan.
For people who just don't know, like, oh, this is Taiwan, everything's fine, it's not made in China.
Clearly they don't want the Chinese government getting mad at them, so they include that Taiwan as part of China.
That's true. I didn't think of that.
Interesting choice.
You're saying it's for the Chinese.
Yes.
I'm thinking of it as it's for us.
No. But that will be good. I don't think you really lose a lot by it being aluminum and Grivery.
At $135, that's a cool
and it's
knife.
It's AUS 10. I forgot they reduced the blade steel. But anyway, I don't know. That's still pretty good. Still the same lock.
What is the equivalent for AUS 10? Isn't that like basically like D2?
It's like 440C. 1% carbon, yeah. It's like 440C.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's fine. They also...
Yeah. They brought back the Formax.
The Formax was a bizarre story where at first it was made in Italy and then the USA, and... or was it the other way around?
It's a bit cartoony.
It's very...
No, I think it's made in the USA.
It was made in Italy first, I think, and then they switched production to the USA.
It's a good move.
Yes. But then they discontinued it all they just couldn't make enough of them, I think.
Well, now they're bringing it back, and they're also doing a budget version.
Yeah, budget-ish. $425. Right. I struggle to call this a budget.
I think there is a budgetier
okay.
one.
Yeah. No, there must. Oh, yeah, you're right. There is. This is apparently the not budget version, and it is not a budget version. That's for sure.
I mean, it's cool. You know what, though? This is the knife that I wouldn't want S35 on.
Yeah, this is a missed opportunity. This should be 3V.
3V.
I mean, this is also really... Who is going to buy this? Because Cold Steel... Like, the vast majority... The reason Cold Steel has hundreds of thousands of Instagram followers is because they have products that are $25. I am very...
Just like what we were talking about from the get-go.
I'm very curious who is going to be the $425 folder from Cold Steel buyer.
There's a buyer. There's an ask for every
That's
seat,
true.
Man. And honestly, it's not something that I would personally buy at that price. However, I'm not going to shit on the person that does, because... It's
a very specific audience.
You could do a lot worse.
It is.
You could do a lot worse.
Big. 6-inch handle.
It's a big boy.
It's a really bad blade to handle ratio, but my God, it does what it says it does. Apparently, it can hold 800 pounds of free hanging weight. I believe it.
There you
Have
go.
fun, whoever buys that.
That's what it's there for. You know what? Before we move off of that knife, you know what the pocket clip looks like? It comes with a Dixie cup.
Let's see.
It looks like something you would...
oh, yeah, it looks like the wooden spoon that you get to eat the...
Spoons,
yes. It actually is probably big enough.
For my... it's probably too big.
That's ridiculous. I've never handled one of the original ones in real life. I have no idea what they're like, but...
I think I have, and I mean, it feels as you would expect.
And then you immediately get back into Cold Steel being Cold Steel with their throwing stuff.
This is not a market that I'm confident to talk about.
I am curious about this. The Ranch Boss from Cold Steel. Oh, okay.
I was just talking to a friend of mine about one of the they have another slip joint called the Lucky One. I think it's a really dumb name. I've never handled a cold steel slip joint. They're lockbacks. I mean, they're not bad. I don't know if I don't know how this stuff translates. Is that a slip joint?
That is the cold steel Lucky One. That is hideous. But
it's horrible looking.
This is a liner lock. I think they're trying to get the buck, the buck 110 sort of demographic, and it's an SK5, so it's a semi low carbon non stainless steel.
It's practical. I'm willing to bet that it's probably pretty good when compared to the buck 110.
I bet it is. Yeah, I bet it's pretty common. I mean, it's a liner lock as opposed to a back lock, but I think this is probably pretty decent.
Right.
Oh, polymer faux sawed bone covers.
At least they're honest.
Yeah, that's about what I expected. Actually, I take that back.
I mean, it's not a very exciting. I mean, at $40, it's not bad. Excuse me, man.
All right, now I need to find...
Before I fall asleep.
This is not the kind of knife where I expected it to have some kind of brand or some kind of collaboration with someone. Forgive me for not knowing who Tim Wells is, besides a guy I knew in high school. But I don't know who Tim Wells or Slockmaster is. But he has his own cold steel collaboration commercial knife.
If you know who any of those people are, let us know in the comments. Please let us know, because we don't know everything.
Interesting. Okay.
Despite what you may think.
All right, I'm going to skip off that one because it's not very interesting, but...
Right.
Ooh. Here is my favorite of the new Kershaw lineup, and I actually want...
Kershaw's.
I want to see...
You know why you want it? Because it's a budget annex.
Yes, it's the same opening mechanism as the Marfione annex.
Yes, and they talk about it like they are at the peak of ingenuity with that opening mechanism. It's just to twist the knife, so to speak.
Man, I thought people had forgotten about that. Certainly Kershaw hasn't, but I do like this design a lot, and
it looks good.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. Let's see what it's like to open.
I have a feeling that it feels like that.
Oh, yeah. Kershaw's stainless steel. Oh, that did not look very fluid opening. Does not look like it Spidey flicks well.
A lot of these guys, they don't open the knives with like the most in the most elegant way half the time. So it's not really a telling situation.
$50 though. That's competing with like Civivi, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say straight up, there's no way this has better fit and finish than a Civivi. And
you know what's gonna happen? It'll go on sale like pretty soon.
Yeah.
For at least $10 less than what it is.
It's a nice design though.
So at 30, it is a very clean design. Yeah.
I think it's an in-house one.
I'd say it's like in the pocket of what's popular right now too. So I think that will sell well for them.
Yeah, I hope so. Maximum PM. Oh, this knife. Okay. Here is one that I actually... Giant Mouse is a company that's very hit or miss with me, mostly miss. But I love this thing because I love... I'm going to butcher the pronunciation, but Kanjali.
Let me just say, I like 50% of it.
So you like the blade and not the handle?
Correct. The handle looks like an ergonomic knife.
Yeah, so I think it is a Kanjar is the name of the traditional dagger that it's based off of.
Yeah, sure. I understand that it has... Oh, for frick's sake. Hector, we're not doing this. We're not doing this, man. We're just not doing it. We're just not doing it. But yeah, I understand the cultural identity that it has. It doesn't mean...
Oh no, the ergonomics are bad. Now. Like, it's not going to be comfortable to hold that because it's small.
There is no ergonomics in that knife.
It's designed to look like the real thing's handle, but the critical thing here is that the handle on these real ones is big enough.
It's much longer.
That your hand actually fits in to them. And it's $200 for the GM F3 from Giant Mouse.
I just cannot get their design philosophy on any of their knives.
Just don't understand their pricing sometimes. This one's made in Italy. Is this clearly like a Fox Knives or a Viper?
If you want a $200 unwieldy, too small fixed blade, I like it, right, but there.
Shout out to my.
Don't buy it, Dave.
No, absolutely not.
It's going to happen.
It's $200. That will you might be able to sell that for $50 on the secondary market afterwards. You'd be so screwed. My sister studied abroad in college in Morocco and brought me home a little decorative khanjar that wasn't sharpened. So shout out to her. That makes me want one of these.
Your sister has always been a great supporter of your knife hobby.
Yes, and also listens to the podcast for no
reason.
And
of our podcast. So.
With no interest in knives. Just when you thought Boker couldn't milk the Quaken anymore, we get a OTF version.
We're starting to lose the point here. Although I think I don't know who's making their OTFs.
This is the company.
I know they were.
It is Cobra Tech Knives, and it's the only reason I know this is because you go here and GP Knives actually says who makes it, which I would have never known otherwise.
Here's the thing: I thought Cobra Tech was making their knives. In some shady fashion.
Who the hell is Cobra Tech? How do they have a website like this and I've never heard of them?
I've heard
Meridian, Texas. Okay. Allegedly, okay, wait, no, I can say that they look like the Chinese-made OTFs without actually saying they are. They do.
Like they look exactly like them.
They do look a lot like them, and that is not us alleging that they are made in China.
No.
But are there any pictures maybe?
And Boker has had some. They even had stuff made by ProTech and things like that. I just have no concept of the origin of these. But I will tell you that Boker is usually pretty honest, like about the origin of their.
Boker. Okay, so Boker is. They are on their main line and on Boker Plus, but they still run that Boker Magnum bullshit
That's
line.
100% true. However, their representative now is, pretty on the nose with what's happening. Okay. Like, I've watched a lot of interviews with him, and he talks about the Boker Magnum line being like their budget of the budget.
It's literally like they just pay a Chinese OEM who's already making junk and knockoffs to just to laser on Boker on stuff.
And truthfully, that's what a lot of knives are. But, whatever. I don't know.
I will have to take Cobra Tech at their word that these are made to order in Texas. I mean...
Made to order?
That's what their website, so let me bring that back up.
For $119, they're made to order.
Built to order in Meridian. Well, presumably... Oh, wow, so, yeah. We could just buy one of these and they would build it for us.
So you know how they're built to order. It means they're having the parts manufactured elsewhere.
Yeah.
And then assembled.
I was just about to say, they might not be made in China. They might be, the parts are produced and then they're assembled here, and that is my best guess. And please don't say
Which is still illegal.
Is it actually?
But,
I know. Yeah. So the funny thing is that apparently after Spyderco got that $50,000 or whatever fine for importing balisongs, it seems like the people were really scared of importing balisongs and OTFs, and now they just don't give a fuck.
And maybe and honestly, that's the law as far as I know it.
There's the federal switchblade ban. It still exists.
And I've talked to there's a reason why a lot of makers haven't done an OTF,
because you need to have it made domestically.
Domestically, and the amount of time and effort that is needed to manufacture.
Yeah. The Federal Switchblade Act still exists. Mm-hmm. So it is definitely still not, I believe, legal to import OTFs and autos.
I mean, as silly as
I can't believe it hasn't been repealed yet, but there's still too much.
It's not
once the people who
if it wasn't repealed within the past 4 years.
The thing is, you have to wait for everyone that's ever seen West Side Story to die of old age, because that's where their exposure to switchblades
were. That is true. That is 100%
And once no one remembers the greasers with their switchblades, then we can just repeal it.
That's true. That's really what it is.
Also, the plot thickens. Here is a Boker Plus balisong that they used to only sell from their website, and you could only have shipped to like European locations. And this is also made by Cobra Tech. Dun dun dun. Oh wait, no, that was the wrong sound effect. Dun dun dun. There we go.
Yeah, maybe we move past
Yes.
these before we have to put a whole bunch of
Disclaimers
allegedly in here.
just sprinkle
Yes.
them in.
I have no interest in them anyway.
I don't either, but this is interesting. A World War I replica trench blade from Boker. This is the kind of stuff they do kind of well in their German factory. Is just a replica World War I and II knives.
I mean, that's pretty sweet, actually.
That is.
It looks good.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool. I mean, it's probably very impractical and terrible to use, but cool.
It is cool. I think that's really where the story ends. It begins and ends with it. Cool knife. Cool knife, bro. Spend $200 on it. Go ahead.
Let's see if there's anything else.
Oh, there's Mkusta katanas again.
Yeah, just as
We're not going to talk anymore of
Yeah,
this.
just as we talked last episode about Mkusta, somehow there's now new ones coming out. Shocking.
I saw that they not Mkusta, but Benchmade re-released the fixed blade version of the Adamas in crewwear.
Yeah, they're going to be pushing the Adamas super hard.
The Adamas fixed blade was like one of my first like big knife purchases.
Oh,
and it's still at Jake's.
GPKnives is back to doing this. This used to be a thing with Benchmade where it's like call for price because they couldn't.
Call for price.
Oh, that's annoying.
They can get below the mat. Hey, well, you know.
I think they're going to be pushing the. As I can tell from their email blasts, they're going to be pushing the Adamas very hard. The mini Adamas, that is.
Definitely. Oh yeah. I mean, look at all the hype it's getting from the review bros.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool.
It is nice. I got to handle it. Jake and I had stopped at Country Knives.
Oh, you guys actually did get to handle
Country Knives. Yeah, it's good.
That's cool. Two things here: the bolster lock automatic from Buck. This is wild. You very rarely see bolster locks.
That looks like it will cut nothing.
I'm sure it's going to be an absolute nightmare to use. What did I do?
I don't know. What are you doing? Just go to the pictures. Why are you making your life complicated?
Yes. I did want to see the bolster lock or the bolster released auto action. Yeah.
It just looks like it has bad panel gaps. That's basically what like a Tesla fit.
Yes. What I can't figure out is what the what this bolster section is made of. It looks like some kind of metal, but
I'm sure it's aluminum.
Yeah, that's my guess.
Yeah, it's probably
Cerakote coated bolster. Yeah, it's got to be aluminum then. Okay, let me not screw up the video now because I just want to see the actual action.
Can you Cerakote aluminum? I guess you can, right? Yeah, of course you can. What am I talking about? Like people Cerakote guns all the time.
Let's see. That did not look very fast, but you know what? No one else is doing a production besides ProTech bolster lock auto. Or bolster released.
No one else except for like the best automatic manufacturer in the United States.
There we go. So their only competition is doing it better than them.
Correct.
But, good for Buck. It's $200. I don't think Buck can pull off $200 fit and finish. That's the only problem.
No. This is grossly overpriced. I was just going to say, incredibly stupid.
This is amazing, but holy shit, the price. That is why it hasn't sold out.
I really, really want it, but I cannot justify my.
I mean, this has got to be the ultimate Dragonfly, right? In crew wear with carbon fiber.
I mean, you know what it is though. It's that carbon fiber is that peel ply shit that
no one actually likes.
Spyderco uses. I hate the feel of that.
Yeah, it's not great.
I still want it though.
Yeah,
it would just live in like your little watch pocket of your jeans.
I mean, I feel like they haven't done a sprint of the Dragonfly in a while. That isn't just the FRN handles. So
right, you're right.
So all right. No one's. I imagine not a lot of people are buying it at $168, but who knows?
I also like that it's coated. You don't see too many black coated dragonflies.
The tactical dragonfly.
I like it.
And now we're back to approximately where we left off last week with the random leak.
No, we're not talking about
exactly. So why don't we jump over to DLT?
All right, let's take a look.
The black. Here's a combination that I guess hasn't been done, and this is already sold out.
It's sold out.
Unsurprising, because PM2 hysteria. It's like 10 years all over again. 10 years ago, all over again.
Here's the thing: if you were getting into, I don't recommend you get into Spyderco sprint runs because it's a disease.
It's gotten so much worse recently than it was for a couple of years.
I am infected.
Did you buy this one? Yeah, that's a yes.
Yeah, I have. There's a box behind me that's just literally all Spyderco sprint runs.
I used to play that game, but it turned out I didn't like the knife itself enough to want to buy so many of them.
I still think, as far as like a user knife goes, a good user, you cannot do much better.
Yeah, I just don't like it aesthetically.
3 or I mean, it's not about.
I will say that I did once trade a long time ago when there was only a couple of sprint run PM2s. I traded one of the orange handled CTS XHP ones for a fucking SNG, which was literally twice the price. So people really liked these things a while ago.
That's a really good trade.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was what the hysteria was like back in the day.
It's funny that you traded a knife that cuts things for a knife that doesn't cut.
Yeah, no, that was it took me about 7 different SNGs to realize that. So those were dark days. It has been a while since I owned one.
I still like the SNG.
I do too, and I'm sure they're better now. The last one I had was actually really thinly ground. It was completely different from any of the old SNGs. It was just, but I don't know. Got rid of it eventually.
I have one SNG and it's a ProTech.
I don't really know how you get them anymore. I guess Strider occasionally will sell them, and they're like $500 now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
At some point, I would maybe buy one again, but
definitely.
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do it. All right. I'll tell you what. Just looking at what's on the screen right now, the Heretic Manticore is a solid OTF.
Yeah, Heretic really goes under the radar, but they do a good job, and they're verifiably made in America.
Oh yeah,
this is.
I've actually had knives of his with that battle worn finish. It's not for me, but people dig it.
It's really. I mean, I've never seen like it that much distress on. It's very distressed.
Yeah, it's Cerakoted and then Cerakoted again and then tumbled
very aggressively.
Very aggressively.
Well, that's cool. The prices, they're also like, approximately the same price as Microtech. Maybe because there's some familial connection there.
Yeah, they do operate as two separate entities for sure.
Yeah. Very separate.
Right. Very separate.
Very separate.
Yeah.
Oof. Do you want to know? Here we go. You can put this on your PM2, your Sprint PM2. You can get a $135 Timascus pocket clip for it.
Oh, who made it?
Rip's Garage Tech. I've never used one of their clips.
If I'm gonna put a $100 and some pocket clip on my PM2, it'll probably be from.
Yeah, I was gonna say Adam Purvis. Buy clips from him.
Right.
That's wild. New Kershaws, those aren't that interesting. I was looking at this earlier.
No.
Let's scroll down. More new bucks.
Excuse me.
Hinder's putting out new Eclipse models. I'm pretty sure they already sold out, and that's why all we see are sold out scales.
There was one that I thought looked good, and the other one I didn't like.
Let's see if they come. A lot of Medfords, a lot of Ultratechs. That's all kind of old news. One of them, the new Eclipse, one of the blade shapes is like a Swedge spear point. Not for me.
Yep.
Don't like that one. Here we go. Oh. Don't really like that blade shape. Gonna be honest.
No.
Especially because they have a very cool clip point. That is coming out with these new clips. I mean, Hinder just is just printing money at this point that he may as well resurrect every single design that he's ever come up with.
100%. There's no reason not to.
And some more Alamix that'll sit on the shelf for literally forever. Oh, hey, look at that. Ramon stuff is sold out. It's
no surprise there.
All right, let's see. Yeah, and that. Oh, okay. I did want to look at these fat carbon PM2 scales in stock still. Shockingly,
honestly, it's kind of tempting.
Like that is wild looking. Or these are Para 3 scales.
This is the weird thing that collecting Spyderco stuff will do to you. You're like I'm not spending $170 on that Italian-made fixed blade.
But
I'll spend
$150.
Where's that Drake?
Yes,
meme? That's what we need. Yeah. It's a weird world we live in.
I think these might be worth the $150.
Worth it. It's all relative, right?
That's the meme we needed.
Here's the thing: will it make you carry your paramilitary tube more than anything else?
I don't know. It'll certainly look cool, but goddamn, that shit's expensive. Actually, this is somehow a little bit more reasonable than I expected. I thought these would be even more expensive.
Fair enough.
With fat carbon prices. Wow, that's some wild looking shit.
That looks like mold.
Yeah, it does look like a healthy mold colony.
Yeah, like a petri dish.
I don't want to look at it anymore.
Oddly enough, did you see that Winter Blade Co. Factor that I got?
Yeah, that's in purple fat carbon, right? Let me bring up your Instagram.
That stuff looks incredible in person.
I hope. Well, Brian's going to be using some of it in his new production.
That's not fat carbon. That's from Carbon Plate.
Okay. Can't even keep track of this. Wait. Okay, so here is what you were talking about. This thing is pretty wild. Very Serge. And yeah, very Serge Panchenko to me.
Well, it follows that idea of the form.
I did not know it opened like that. That is crazy. I have not looked into this knife much. I thought it just opened like a normal.
So
that is cool.
Can I talk about this knife a little bit? Okay, so you can see back there the lock bar is on the back, right? But the way it works is it has a pin that goes into a hole in the blade. So it's not using like a contact point, like a lock face. It has a pin that goes into the blade.
That's wild. And that's the lock, which
and it also has magnets. It has a magnet system, one in each side of the carbon frame, and you can see that's the stop pin there, which is adjustable. And then just in front of that on the lock bar, you'll see a little pin that moves in and out of that groove in the blade. You see that extra hole next to the fuller? That's where the pin goes.
This is insane.
So it doesn't have a detent. It has two magnets that act as the detent. So when it closes, it stays in place by magnet, and it has another one at the top. So as you flip it, the inertia continues from the break of the first magnets to
and then the second magnet just like sucks it up. That is absolutely nuts. Did this guy just come out of nowhere? Who?
He is number one, Brian. Brian Winters, super nice dude. This is the kind of guy and he does this all with a manual mill.
Jesus.
Yeah. So he just like is this kind of guy that has ideas and then just does.
This is like Joe Caswell, the guy who made that. What was the Caswell EDX? I feel like we haven't heard from the guy who did he's making all his money now with the Provoke from CRKT, the transforming karambit.
Right.
But he had this thing. Reminds me of this guy. This guy had a lot of crazy stuff where the pocket clip is the lock.
I remember that.
Yeah, you haven't seen these in a while, but
so it's like that, but not like that.
Same kind of really crazy ingenuity, but applied differently.
So here's something that's interesting is that there'll be a production version of one of his designs.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it's the Factor or not, but he has ones that incorporate LEDs, all sorts of stuff.
LEDs? What?
Yep.
This is nuts. I bet Brian loves this. Because it's just...
I don't even... Oh, there's one of the ones with the LEDs there. And honestly, he's probably one of the only ones that makes like... That was the one he was working on the other night. If you scroll to the top, he's got a like a razor blade holder, like a utility knife. But it's really cool.
This is just bananas. All right, we'll have to talk about this in the main episode. This is crazy. But wait, I was just on your account because when did you get this?
About an hour
That's funny
ago.
because I was just about to bring this up because they are now available on AliExpress, and you could have gotten one in the bizarre orange black layered micarta stuff.
I'm
for
happy with the one
$300. But the Thor's...
it is incredible.
Yeah.
You know how incredible it is? Let me tell you how incredible.
Yes, you have it in person.
It's this incredible. Yeah, it's really good.
It's really cool.
It's integral. It's an integral G10.
Yeah.
With a titanium bolster.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm gonna have to buy one of these. I love Reich so
stuff.
much.
Very cool.
I will keep defending that man until I die. Fat carbon pocket clips.
Woo.
That's wild. No transition at all. Just jumping right back in.
So you can really, really get up to a $600
Do you want it?
paramilitary
It would
too.
be so gaudy at that point.
It's a little much for me.
And also, a blast from the past. Dave Curtis, I think is his name. Back with some flippers. Yeah, Dave Curtis.
Yep.
He disappeared for a while. Now he's back with the crosshair pocket clip. It's been a while.
Mm-hmm. There's always going to be somebody with a gimmicky pocket clip on their
show. Is it pocket clip gimmicks are the last and final way to stand out in the knife market?
It might be.
Wild.
Well, let's
go there.
Why don't you do your thing, Dave, and maybe pick one or two little zingers for us to close on. Is there anything you can think of?
Let's see if there's something especially objectionable. I had to do it. Our typical punching bag. Jake Hoback.
Oh, man.
It's so expensive.
Look.
Whoa.
Look. These are from two guys who spend money.
My first custom was a Hoback.
It's not like it's not like, and I had a Quayback.
I had like two.
Here's the thing. You pick this. There's not much for me to say about it. It's like one of the same fucking.
Yeah, that's true. We've said this We've said the same thing so many times.
It's the same. It's just the same thing. It's just the same thing.
God. Okay. There's so many Medfords. Let's see. See, the thing is, DLT doesn't really kind of keep a lot of trash in stock, so it's
They definitely move through product. That's for sure.
Here we go. Rockstead's $465 neck knife that has a 1.7-inch blade.
Now we're doing something. Look at that.
I'm surprised this is only $465.
Would you look at that? Who bought that? Okay, just as usual, if you purchased a $500
neck knife
piece of scrap metal, I want to know why.
John Gray wishes he could do this.
This is John Gray's magic move here. He would love to sell $500 trinkets.
This is absolutely... You know how people like that can't afford Ferraris and Lamborghinis and stuff want like little things from them? Like the valve stem
Puma
caps?
shoes.
Yeah.
Or or a t-shirt or a hat.
Yeah. This is the exact equivalent of that. I can't afford a real Rockstead, but I'm going to spend way too much money on something that is Rockstead adjacent.
There you go. You can do 4 interest-free payments on Afterpay.
That's a solid financial decision. Invest in Rockstead neck knives.
Oh my god.
All right.
I'm going to say it again. Who is it for?
You know what? If you bought a $465 Rockstead shoe, let us know. You could have instead just saved your money and got a real Rockstead. Like, a nice one. Oh, man.
Well, that is a nice one.
Oh, God. Yeah, no, that is. But shout out to all the people buying the Rockstead neck knives. Don't let anyone tell you not to.
So, I don't know. It could be the people that want, like, to get their feet wet with the Rockstead witchcraft. You know, Japanese guy sitting on top of a mountain.
Polishing it.
Polishing and heat treating the knives so that they cut the paper.
So they cut through the fabric of reality, as they would tell you that they do.
Exactly, yeah. It's some Doctor Strange business going on here.
What if the sheath sucks? What if you pay $465 for a neck knife and then the sheath just rattles?
You go to John Gray and have him press the Kydex sheath for it.
Oh my God.
Shout out to John Gray.
The sharpness of this knife is useful in a variety of situations during the course of our daily lives. I doubt it.
Can we get notified when this is back? It's out of stock?
Someone bought it. You can't keep any Rocksteads in stock.
Can we get notified?
I need a notification so I can buy one. That should be our next Patreon stretch goal. Buy us a Rockstead chew so that we can give it to John Gray. I don't know, so that he can have a little piece of scrap metal for himself.
We'll give it to John. He's like, what? It would just get lost in his shop. We'd never see it again.
It'd just be like throwing it into a well.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that was the last one for sure, because there's only kind of nice Rocksteads left here. So.
Right.
All right.
Well, this was a fun little look at some new releases from two very well respected dealers.
Yes.
We'll have some links down in the description here for some products from both DLT and GP Knives that we actually like.
Yes.
So feel free to click those if you so desire. And thank you for joining us.
This feels weird because we don't have Jake to play us out. So do we just go goodbye? Is that just how it ends?
Normalize Jake not playing us out.
Just say goodbye and end it.
Just say goodbye and end it.
All right, I'm going to do that.